what were the extra requirements that needed to happen? You did touch on the getting packages on the Fedora repos, the Ubuntu repos. Sorry, getting packages on the Ubuntu repos. But like, what else is required there? Because I assume there's some requirements regarding like the Ubuntu release cycle as well that you need to make sure you're lining up with. But I'm not sure on the full details myself.
There are, in fact. So, first off, yeah, the packaging bit and the release cycle bit. So, with Ubuntu Unity, first off about the cycle,
Mhm.
yeah. So we were following all of the Ubuntu deadlines, and in fact, here's the funny thing. We accidentally released Ubuntu 22.04.2 um a few hours early, and then later a major bug was discovered in the flavors, not in Ubuntu Unity, but in the flavors that led to the release being delayed by 2 weeks. So
So you
so we
had the new version of Ubuntu out before everybody else did.
precisely, yeah, just that. Yeah, I mean that, and then bunch of other stuff. So we were usually the first to release stuff. Back then, so we would follow the feature fees stuff, the betas, everything. We'd follow the Ubuntu release schedule, and we'd get everything out there. Usually before every other remix of Flavor, we were usually the first in that regard. But yeah, that worked out pretty well for us. As for packages, yes, we had to have someone on our team that had upload rights to the Ubuntu repositories. Um, so Dmitry Shachnev, the one maintaining the Ubuntu Unity packages right now, he uploads all the packages to the Ubuntu repositories, all of Ubuntu Unity packages. He also did sponsoring for many other flavors. So for Ubuntu, I think, and for Ubuntu Cinnamon even, and a bunch of other remixes before they became flavors. And he's also one of the Compass maintainers. So that just
Ah.
made stuff. So that yeah. So I think he knows a lot about the Unity code base as well. And so yeah, I mean it was nice having him on the team, you know. So I just reached out to him on Telegram. And I found him on Telegram, and I just GM'd him one day asking him if he would be interested in uploading, if he'd be interested in becoming a package uploader, because we had no one else on our team that could do that, and we didn't know anyone at the time that would be willing to. So yeah, that worked out really well. So yeah, I think these two are some of the most major requirements. Aside from that, there's some slightly there's some that are slightly less important. So you're supposed to have a launchpad team, uh, which so sort of like a GitHub organization,
Okay,
except
right,
you're
right.
supposed to have the Ubuntu core development team, which is also another team on Launchpad. It's another team on Launchpad with all the people that have access to the Ubuntu packages, all parts of the Ubuntu repository, not just the community maintained ones. So yeah, I mean, we already had the Ubuntu core devs team in our team. We'd already invited them, and they just had to accept it when they became a flavor or invite, because our Launchpad has a concept of sub teams. So think of it as GitHub sub organizations, which do not exist, but let's pretend it do. So yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I mean DC, yeah. Aside from DC, I can't recall anything really. I think it was just this stuff, yeah. Nothing else comes to mind.
Well, I guess it did make it a lot easier for your project because you guys were already operating alongside the Ubuntu release schedule anyway. So it's not like
Yeah.
you had to adjust things or it was like you couldn't meet those deadlines. I could imagine for some, especially ones where they're not taken as seriously, where the deadlines are not being met and, all of this stuff, so it's just not in line to
Yeah.
become an official flavor. And becoming one is going to take on a lot more effort for those projects. But since you're already doing it anyway, it was no additional effort. It was just keep doing what you're doing, just do it in a more official capacity.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, in future, I mean at the Ubuntu Summit, for example, I was in fact considering releasing another flavor. I mean, it would be a remix initially, but then making it a flavor. So that was just supposed to be flavor of Ubuntu where that just made it easier for you to use Child Window Manager. So if we just offer Child Window Managers as part of the installation process,
Mhm.
Archie, Sphere, Hyper, and all of that stuff, DWM, Dusk, all of that as part of the installation process. And yeah, that is something I was working on. I haven't had the time. I have my GCSEs next year, my GCSEs, and all of that stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, once all of that, yeah, once all of that happens, I mean, I might have a look at it again, because why not?
Most people who run like a distro, they're fine with one
Yeah,
distro. You would,
yeah,
how many would you be actively? Because there's BlendOS and Ubuntu Unity. Those aren't going anywhere.
yeah.
Is there another one that you're actively still working on that is still, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Ubuntu, first off, Ubuntu Web.
okay,
Ubuntu Web. I'm not actively working on the project with that name.
Mhm.
I'm just working on merging it with BlenOS right now.
Right,
So
okay,
I'm making it a variant of BlenOS.
Mhm.
Because first off, I don't think Ubuntu is a suitable base for it. Because first off, it just because we wanna deliver a vanilla GNOME experience, and
Mhm.
Ubuntu just doesn't allow us to do that because Ubuntu makes changes to the packages themselves, instead of using packages overlaid on top of the GNOME ones with
Mhm.
their tweaks. So that just makes it harder for us with all of the customizations. Um, yeah,
For
sure,
anyone
go ahead.
unaware, what is Ubuntu Web? You, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, I was saying for anyone unaware, what is Ubuntu Web?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I thought you were just climbing it.
Oh
Yeah.
no, okay,
No.
sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah. No. No problem. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. So Ubuntu Web was supposed to be a privacy friendly alternative to Chromium OS, Chrome
Mhm.
OS, all of the forks out there, and after the release, I mean after Google took over Cloudily, it was basically the only option people had.
Mhm.
Because Google took over it, and now it's just Chrome OS Flex.
Right.
So it was just trying to be something like Calyx OS and EOS and Divest OS, Graphene OS, all of that stuff
Mhm.
to Chromium OS. So that was the goal,
Mhm.
and it was meant to. It was yeah. So our goal was just to support Android apps, web apps, everything Chrome OS should,
Mhm.
and for it to be as stable as possible, such that it would be a suitable replacement to Chrome OS.
Mhm.
So yeah, we first off, one of the reasons why I wanted to move it over to BlenOS was maintaining an Ubuntu remix and providing package updates to PPAs. That is another hassle. Using PPAs for package updates because Ubuntu's built-in upgrader tools, those just remove custom package repositories aside from those of Ubuntu.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we couldn't use our own package repositories if we wanted people to just run normal system upgrades,
Mhm. Mhm.
because whenever you're developing a remix, for example, this is something I forgot to mention. You have to maintain a PPA. You cannot use your own repository.
Mhm.
I don't think you can. I'm not sure about this, but pretty much every remix I had seen just use PPAs for that purpose. And Launchpad PPAs are really hard to deal with uploading packages. And even aside from the experience of building JPN packages, getting them on the server is an even bigger issue.
Mhm.
Because there aren't any repositories like the AUR,
Mhm.
first off. And yeah, so you don't, because first off, yeah, you don't build packages from source like on Arch, of course, custom packages on Debian and Ubuntu because it's supposed to be user friendly. But then Launchpad, which is supposed to allow you to create your own binary distributions of packages, it just gets tons of stuff wrong. And yeah, it's just a bit of a hassle. It is good, by the way. It is nice to see the work Ubuntu is still putting into making the experience better for Ubuntu
Mhm.
users, Ubuntu packages, people that want to build their own applications. However, I think everyone at Canonical realized PPAs were never going to be the future of app distribution, and yeah, I don't think they put that much effort into PPAs after that, because yeah, I mean Launchpad, and it's not like they could because Launchpad is a huge code base and it is like a mountain to maintain. It's just impossible to maintain.
Right.
And from what I heard, one of the co Launchpad team members just left Canonical Colin Watson, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean that's that's what I mean. That is where snaps and flatpaks exist in the first place, and I think most people at Canonical and the Ubuntu community agree with me on this.